Hey peeps, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about when and where to pop your fire alley on every single boss in Ultra. First up, Ignis. Just pop it at the start whenever everything procs. Then we have Razor Scale, basically same thing. Whenever Razor Scale comes down and everything is procced, you want to pop your fire alley. For XT, you have two options. The first one is to pre-pot and then also get everything procced and then pop it immediately, so it will do damage. It's about 20, I would say 15 seconds depending on the DPS you have until you hit the heart, so it's still going to do a good amount of damage. Or you can wait until the heart pops and then you pop your fire alley if you have one trinket left to proc, usually Flare if it doesn't proc. If Flare procs during the heart, you can use your fire alley with your racial. Now we're coming to Iron Council. So this fight is rough for the fire alley because they are usually pretty stacked and it just attacks a random target. I've noticed though, if your tank keeps the little guy and the medium guy a little bit away from the big guy, let's say the medium guy and the small guy are tanked a little bit to the left, and there's like a small gap between them and the big guy. If you walk in front of the small and the medium guy, obviously you're in range, so you're in a straight line in front of them, and you're attacking the small guy and then pop your fire alley, most likely your fire alley is gonna attack the small guy. I've had some good results with this, but it's not 100%, it's very random, and even if he attacks the small guy after the small guy dies, it's still 50-50 if he goes to the big guy or the medium guy, so it's still an RNG. You can also pop your fire alley in phase 3 only on the big guy. If you have all your trinkets and your pot still up, that might be better and do more damage and give you better pass. Now for Kolagarn, it's also very simple. You want to pre-pot and then you want to use all the stuff that you have. Make sure that everything is procced, your racial, your cloak, your trinkets. And then you want to usually put the totem of the fire alley close to the body and the hands. So whenever you have the laser on you, you have to move because, some guilds heal through it, some guilds don't. You can use Fire Nova while moving and don't have any DPS loss due to it. But you can also just put it whenever you're in the range camp, you put it down, then you don't Fire Nova and just stand still and pray and pump. It really doesn't matter. On Algalon, you want to pop your fire alley at the start. You want to pre-pot whenever the guy gets hit. You have a bit time before the fight actually starts. I don't mean the countdown, the 5-6 seconds. I mean until you get into combat, you have about a second, I think, after you hit Algalon. So then you put your pot up, and then you pray that all your trinkets pop up too whenever you attack him, and then you put your fire alley down. You don't want your fire alley to hit the stars, so now after the change you can also put your fire alley later because it's most likely gonna attack the boss because you're attacking it, but I still pop it at the start. Now for Ayayayaya, you basically just want to pre-pot. Usually we do a trap pull from the hunter, so you want to pre-pot before she runs into the trap. I usually ask for a bop, and then whenever she comes close you can attack her immediately with Flame Shock, you can alley master Lava Burst, you can Chain Lightning, Fire Nova, and hope that the pet of the Demo Lock crits fast so you get a big pact as well, and then you have a big snapshot. So on Hoarding you can do two things. You can pre-pot and then free the frozen people, and usually that procs your trinkets and your cloak, and then you just use the fire alley for the boss. If the stuff doesn't proc, fuck your pre-pot, make sure that your cloak and your two trinkets proc. Also you have your Demo Pact then, and that's probably gonna be bigger than whenever you would use it at the start without everything, and then use it. Thorum is also pretty simple. Whenever you jump down, you use everything. Your pot, you make sure your trinkets proc, and then you just pop your fire alley. Now for Freya, you usually use Fire Nova Glyph, which means you want to put down your magma totem a lot. So you use your fire alley whenever she's killable and no more mobs spawn. Pretty simple. You can pot then, you can use your racial, your trinkets. If not everything is up, totally fine, still use it because it's still gonna be more damage than not using it. For Mimiron, you can do two things. You either can play with Flame Tongue Weapon, or you can use the Fire Alley Glyph, which makes you able to use it twice. When you play with the Glyph, you want to use it at the start, you want to pre-pot, get all your trinkets procced and just pop it in phase 1, and then you want to do the same thing in the last phase. In the last phase as well, if you don't have everything ready, if you don't have 2 trinkets up, you only have 1, doesn't matter, still pop your Fire Alley because it's going to be more damage than if you don't. So for General Vesax, it's also very simple. You want to pre-pot, make sure your tank hits at least once, and then you can just use your Lightning Bolt, Flame Shock, Lava Burst. You want your trinkets to proc, you want your cloak to proc, and then also hope that the Demo Warlock has his pet crit, and whenever everything is up, you just use your Fire Alley. It's going to be a big snapshot, and it's going to do a lot of damage for free without you doing anything. As an Elemental Shaman, we do not have mana issues on that fight, so you can cast outside the puddle a couple times. It's not an issue. Now for York, there's also multiple ways to play this. You can use the Fire Alley glyph on this fight and then pre-pot, run into the room with boots, put down your healing stream totem, and attack the mob immediately when you can. Use your wind shear on it so you lose threat, and make sure everything is procced, and then put your Fire Alley in the middle so it attacks the mobs the whole time. And then you can also use it again in the last phase. But you can also use Fire Nova glyph, so you don't pop your Fire Alley at the first phase, you just wait until the last phase, put it down at the mouth of York, and basically just cleave down the ads. Perfectly fine, works as well with Fire Nova. Now that is every single boss in Ulduar, and as you can see, it's most of the time just the same thing. It's gonna be the same thing in TOGC as well, but I'm also gonna make a video just because for these certain amount of fights where you might wanna use the Fire Alley glyph or you wanna pop it later. I hope you liked the video. I would really appreciate a like and subscribe. Also, if you could write a comment for the algorithm, that would be great. I shall see you in the next video.